Tonight, our region's ageing highways set for millions of dollars in upgrades, and plans for a revamped Broken Hill CBD released.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Hundreds of kilometres of our region's highways are set to be upgraded through a joint federal and state government initiative. The RAA is welcoming the upgrades, but urges patience on these stretches of roads.
Thousands of motorists use South Australia's highways every day, placing pressure on these vital pieces of infrastructure. But improvements are in sight with the new roadworks program underway.
The Highway, the Horrocks Highway, the Barrier Highway, the Augusta Highway, are all, the Stewart Highway and the Strzelecki Track are all happening either now or they're programmed for the future.
These roads are absolutely critical to the regions in terms of access for tourism, freight, agribusiness and general movement across the regions.
The federal and state government program follows years of campaigning for upgrades at notorious crash spots.
There is over $1 billion of Commonwealth money coming in at the moment, which is by and large accompanied by another 20% top up from the state government, pretty much across the board.
This means improving the roads and making them safer, and that is something that we're really focused on.
Many claim it's long overdue from when they were first promised by the state government.
Part of the election commitment back in 2018, when the government came in.
The REA also hoping more get added to the list, with Horrocks Highway coming out on top in its risky roads survey.
20 kilometres of work, most of this is focused around the Gladstone and Wilmington area, again, which is welcome, but the critical section between Gawler and Tarlee remains to be addressed.
Drivers can expect to see more roadworks popping up, causing major delays.
Please be patient and understand this is for the greater good of everyone. So once the works are completed, as we keep saying, the people will notice immediately the difference.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A man who stabbed his father in the back in Port Lincoln last year has been found not guilty on the grounds of mental incompetence. 30-year-old Broden Slater believed his father had tried to spike his tartar sauce before he lashed out. Nathan Regter reports.
It was here on Baltimore Street where the drama unfolded more than a year ago. The court heard that 30-year-old Broden Slater stabbed his father multiple times at their Port Lincoln property on January 28th last year because he believed he had tried to spike his tartar sauce. Justice Judy Hughes said to Mr Slater, "The injuries were severe and could easily have killed your father, and there was force to the attack, and he required surgery to retrieve the portion of the blade that was still in his back." The court heard the pair were arguing about cigarettes when Mr Slater threatened to kill him before arming himself with an 8-centimetre kitchen knife. His father ran onto the street to find help, but his son followed him and grabbed him around the neck before stabbing him twice in the back. It was reported the blade had punctured his lung and hip, and he was rushed to Port Lincoln Hospital. Justice Hughes said Mr Slater told police his father had spiked his tartar sauce with either a bone or fishing line, causing him to become sick during the day, which made the voices inside his head angry. Yesterday, Mr Slater was not found guilty of attempted murder due to mental incompetence.
A draft plan to revamp Broken Hill CBD will be presented to Council tonight. The project is expected to cost $24 million and doesn't have a time frame yet, but Argent Street businesses say any upgrade will be worth it.
After months of public consultation sessions, the new master plan for Broken Hill's CBD is finally going before Council.
This will activate our livable city. This will be the game changer around people coming and shopping and spending more time in our Argent Street shops.
Greening the city, the key focus, with more than 200 trees to be planted and a number of open spaces to be created.
If we want more trees, we're going to have to look where we put them in.
And that's where parking concerns come in. The current proposal would see an additional 37 car parks created across the CBD, but some parts of Argent Street would lose them. More than 30 will be cut between Bromide and Chloride streets.
More central parking will make up for maybe losing some parks further down when there's not as many businesses.
The current price tag on the redevelopment, more than $24 million.
The community will remember that we have borrowed a bit of money so that we can partner with all the government grants, both state and federal.
The revamp is a long-term project to be completed in stages. Businesses hopeful it'll be worth the wait and the cost.
It would just be fantastic. It would just be a big facelift for Argent Street and the CBD.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Broken Hill City Council was also looking at revamping the current rate structure. One plan would see a rate increase of 11% for non-industrial businesses to counter significant increases in land values along Kandana Road and Pinnacles Place.
We've done a lot of work looking at how do we juggle the rates, how do we take them back to pre-2020.
It'd be interesting to see if this will include the tourism businesses, whether this will include the hospitality businesses, whether this will include pretty well all the businesses in our small business association.
The Mayor is encouraging locals to review the fees and charges document when it's released for public consultation. A Port Lincoln man has been reported for firearms offences after police uncovered a gel blaster at his property. A 21-year-old from the address was reported for possessing a firearm without a licence. Gel blasters are considered paintball firearms and can only be used at licensed venues. The controversial laws were passed earlier this month. The man is set to appear in the Port Lincoln Magistrates Court at a later date. Still to come tonight, South Australia Police record a spike in scam reports being made. And South Australian state MPs set to once again consider introducing euthanasia. Welcome back. A spike in online scams has been reported over the long weekend, involving numerous online shopping platforms. Police urge locals to be aware, with victims receiving calls requesting software downloads. Sophia Contagonis has the details.
An easy mistake with a big consequence. Police receiving an increasing number of reports of scammers calling residents, claiming to be from eBay or Amazon, requesting victims download a software on their phone to alleviate account hacking issues.
So we've seen 6 or 7 reports over the last 7 days where scammers are ringing victims.
Authorities say the scam is not new. However, cyber hackers are moving away from pretending to be a part of telecommunication companies and instead misrepresenting major online shopping platforms. Police encouraging anyone over the age of 25 who may shop online to be aware and to also warn elderly family and friends.
If you're unsure, hang up and just give the company a ring or email the company to ensure that it's a legitimate request.
Police say if the person was to download the software, it would unlock access and control over their phone and computer, allowing scammers to access personal information, passwords and online accounts.
If there's a loss, a monetary loss, they should ring police or attend the police station.
Police encourage any resident who receives a suspicious call to report it online. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A man is taking legal action against a Far West local health district. Lawyers for then 55-year-old Peter Carter claim he visited Broken Hill Hospital 3 times during August 2019 for a wound caused by an ankle grinder, and that it wasn't washed out or explored, leading to a life-threatening infection. The local health district says it undertakes reviews of all significant clinical incidents. Business owners across Port Pirie are being invited to a networking event tomorrow night at the local sporting precinct. Business Port Pirie, in conjunction with Regional Development Australia, will be hosting the event. Attendees will learn about new skills and support services. President Mark Hanlon says the seminar is needed, following a challenging year for the community.
It does follow a very tough year. People have been incredibly resilient. People are doing really well. We're really keen now to help them some more to try and get through the next 12 months and be stronger again.
The event will start at 5:30 and those interested can register online. New research has revealed elderly Australians are at the greatest risk of house fires, according to safety experts. The bleak figures found more than a third of fire fatalities are people aged over 65.
They're the sobering figures that have fire safety experts on edge.
Elderly are far more at risk at home because, and particularly if they're on their own, because they have mobility issues, they have hearing issues potentially, they have sight issues as well.
According to Brooks, 1 in 2 Australians are concerned their elderly relatives could not escape a house fire in time, and the research backs that up, with people aged over 65 making up more than a third of all fire fatalities.
1 in 6 people are impacted by a loss of hearing or an impairment of hearing in Australia. That means that they're not going to hear their smoke alarms, or they may not hear their smoke alarms and they're in a deep sleep.
Experts say smoke alarms can be a hidden death trap for the elderly, recommending residents to do their research. Some alarms can be connected to strobe lights and vibrating discs underneath a pillow.
Those 3 in combination should ensure that someone wakes up and should hopefully make sure that they get out in the presence of smoke.
Authorities say no matter how advanced your smoke alarms are, the most important thing is to make sure they're working by testing them regularly.
Check the batteries in the smoke alarm and press the test button to make sure everything is working as it should.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Giles MP Eddie Hughes is joining a long list of politicians calling for euthanasia to be made legal in South Australia, with the topic set to be debated in State Parliament next Wednesday. Mr Hughes says the time has come to enact it.
A big debate set for next week.
Next week in the South Australian Parliament, in the upper house of the Parliament, there is a vote on a voluntary assisted dying bill.
It's the 17th time over the last 26 years a bill for euthanasia has been put before the Parliament, a topic the member for Giles says he supports.
I'm incredibly upfront about my position on this. I'm a supporter of voluntary euthanasia.
It comes after his own experience in watching someone very close to him suffer towards their end of life.
My dad went through a horrendous death for cancer, and we would not wish that on anybody.
He says people should be allowed the choice.
They should be able to die with dignity. But at the same time, I think more resources should go into palliative care.
My experience 3 years ago watching my mother pass away with pancreatic cancer that really stilled my resolve that it wasn't enough just to be a supporter, but that I needed to get involved.
Euthanasia advocates say there is large public support.
There was a recent survey that was done through Newgate Communications, and that showed that there's 80% support in South Australia.
Sophia Conchagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us. A Port Augusta school teaches its students the value of recycling. And entries for this year's MOCA Art Prize open to artists. Students from Port Augusta's Seaview Christian College stepped out of the classroom today to make a very special donation of books to a local church. Teachers hoping the experience will educate students on reaching out to the community.
A small act of kindness. These Year 5-6 students from Seaview Christian College today handing over more than 300 pre-loved children's books to the St Augustine Church.
All books need a home, and this is a way to find a home for books rather than wasting away in a place where they can't be used.
It's a new chapter for these stories, which will be placed in the church bookstore. With the school refurbishing its library, the students decided to give back to the community.
We had some leftover books that we didn't really need, and we came here to donate instead of recycling it.
The students also thinking of the environment, reducing the amount of waste created within the city.
Basically helping the environment, like with pollution and other people can read the books that we don't need.
Also saying it will help other children benefit from the joy of reading.
We thought that if we recycled them it wouldn't help kids learn anything, and I think it'd go to a better use if we were to just donate them so people could use them and read them.
They're already looking at other items they can potentially recycle, while encouraging others to do the same.
They love working with the community, and it's so important for them to realise that they have power. They can actually do things in the community that will affect the community for the good.
They can donate books here too for other people to read.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Entries for this year's MOCA Art Prize have officially opened. In its 12th year, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander artists of all ages are encouraged to get involved. Organisers say it's important to continue the prize and carry the legacy of the late Marvin McKenzie.
This was his vision to have an arts award here in Port Augusta, and so we want to, honour that and respect the work that he did and keep it going for future generations to come.
Entries close on June 1, with the exhibition starting on June 23. It seems Broken Hill is a community of green thumbs. Demand for plots at the Centre for Community have tripled over the last 2 months, with the cooler weather enticing more into the garden.
A wide variety of people who work, people who don't have time to garden at home, and they come down here and garden, and retired people and young people.
Those wanting to get involved are being told to be quick, with just 10 free plots still available. While petrol prices across our region continue to remain stable even after the school holidays, you can expect to fork out more for diesel this week. Here's Lachlan Itter with the details in this week's Fuel Watch.
If you're back to the school run or the daily grind, you can take some solace in fuel prices this week. Starting as always with unleaded, where there's not a lot to talk about. The only relief comes for drivers in Port Augusta this week, down 0.5 cent to $1.42 a litre, but that's still at the pricier end of the spectrum. Broken Hill remains our most expensive town to fill the tank, where you'll pay $1.45. That is up on last week, but only slightly. There's no surprises across the rest of the region, where prices are unchanged. From best to worst, $1.35 in Port Pirie, $1.39 in Kadina, $1.40 in Whyalla, and Port Lincoln's the most expensive place to fill up in our part of SA, $1.44 there. Expect to pay $1.41 in Adelaide. The cheapest spots are in the northwest. Over to diesel now, where things are looking a bit more interesting. Red arrows right across the board this week, but no need to panic. The biggest increase is in Kadina, and that's only 1 cent, up to $1.33. Port Lincoln and Port Pirie have seen the smallest jumps to $1.35 and $1.32 respectively. Port Augusta's up by around 0.5 cent to $1.39, and Broken Hill's gone up by about the same, now sitting on $1.46. Prices in Whyalla unchanged at $1.36. Drivers in Broken Hill are getting the short straw with Autogas too, the only town where prices have gone up. You'll now pay 92 cents, still a comparatively good price. Only Whyalla is cheaper at 88 cents. Port Augusta and Kadina around the 95-96 cent region, 98 cents in Port Pirie and Port Lincoln, the most expensive place for gas as well, 99 cents a litre. Remember that these prices are the regional averages and do not reflect any one particular outlet. And if you do spot unleaded, diesel or auto gas cheaper, be sure to let us know on our Facebook page.
Stay with us after the break. We go inside the Salvation Army's new Port Augusta hub, and Alex Sykes will join us with the latest weather details. Hello again. Port Augusta's Salvation Army has today marked a special occasion, inviting the community to celebrate the grand opening of their Salvos Hub. From barista-made coffee to a free barbecue and a plant sale, it aims to provide a place for the whole community to enjoy. Organisers say it was a good turnout, with more than 80 people visiting the new space.
We've got our garden group starting, which is a small-scale community garden. We have our cooking group. We have a craft morning, which will be fortnightly. And on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the hub will be open, so people are welcome just to drop in and spend some time here.
Those activities will officially begin next Monday. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. With all the details, here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John. A beautiful sunny day across our region today. From 3 p.m, Whyalla 21, Port Pirie reached 25 and Woodna was 27 degrees. Looking further out across the region now, Port Augusta 24, Port Lincoln and Broken Hill both 23 degrees. Kadina and Cleve both were 25. Clare mostly sunny 21. Cooper Pedy 26 degrees. Adelaide was 20 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, high cloud crossing the northern parts of SA. In the jet stream is not bringing any rain. Skies are largely clear elsewhere due to high pressure and a dry air mass. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. A nice calm day, northeasterly winds below 10 knots, seas below 1 metre and south to southwesterly swell below 1 metre. Another sunny day tomorrow too. Port Lincoln will be 24, Cleve to top 26 degrees, Woodna set to reach 29, Whyalla and Kadina will be both 24 degrees, Port Augusta set to reach a high of 28. Port Pirie 26, Clare will be 24 and Broken Hill is set to be sunny and 23 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, a fine day across the region on Friday. Port Augusta and Woodna will record the highest temperatures of 29 degrees, while Kadina and Port Lincoln will record the region's lowest temperature of 25. Conditions becoming windy across most parts heading into the weekend, except for in Cooper Pedy, Broken Hill and Adelaide, where it'll be partly cloudy on Saturday. But clearing up again on Sunday, partly cloudy conditions across most of the region. It will be sunny at Broken Hill with the region's maximum temperature of 27, while Port Lincoln will record the lowest temperature of 21. So some choice weather for us on the way over the next couple of days, John, and that's all the weather from me for tonight. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we will be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.